Over the past 12 months, we have been able to make massive improvements to the show, and largely down to our sponsors. GBS are a family-run construction company in Ipswich operating nationwide with over 30 years experience offering fire protection, diamond drilling, commercial building, health and safety and asbestos removal. Starling and Lock, a self-employed electrician since 1989 offering domestic work and certificates for people buying and selling houses. An NIC EIC member. Matchday Marketing, sports marketing and branding company helping enhance the image and profile of grassroots and non-league clubs at a very low cost, utilising over 20 plus years in the game. Your Shirts offering eye-catching professional looking garments for your business, team, club or organisation with a range of printing methods to cover all individual needs. Clabber Creative are a creative agency based in Framlingham, Suffolk, offering fully managed football club websites. They're about giving your club a professional look and feel with ongoing support to maintain your site. Alpha Surveys providing topographical and measured building surveys throughout East Anglia. If you are in need of quality surveys for any home improvements, contact Alpha Surveys on Instagram. Links for all of these companies are in the description below. Go and check them out and tell them that DeeJam has sent you. Good evening, everybody. Hello and welcome along to another live show for the Suffolk non-league show. We are live once again for the first time in a long time across Twitter, across Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. We've had a few weeks where, for whatever reason, Facebook and Twitter just didn't want to work, but we're back up and running. We are good to go and we are live once again. Hello to everybody and good morning, good afternoon and good evening to everybody who's listening back and watching back to the show. If you're not always available to watch us live, we appreciate you all checking back on us. Like we had somebody yesterday, name escapes me, checking in yesterday on last Monday's show. Now that is absolutely full commitment and we've got so much time for that. But once again, I'm joined by my colleague and good friend, Mr. Adam Wades. Sir, how are you doing?
Very good, thanks, James. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Did you have a good weekend? How's life been since I saw you on Friday?
I'm not quite sure what I did this week. I went out for a meal, just generally chilled out. It was nice. It was lovely, to be honest.
Yes, I saw a couple of pictures on your Facebook. You looked very happy.
Yeah, went out for some Thai food and for Casper's afterwards for absolutely incredible dessert. Had a Reese's peanut butter waffle and
stop it.
Yeah, that was next level. And what made it even worse is I saw all these people coming in with Deliveroo and like getting it all picked up, and I just thought, if only where we live, I would be poor.
You can't get you can't get that in Stowmarket, can you? Like that's why I enjoy going to work, because you get the occasional delivery sent to you. It's brilliant. But
yes,
there we go.
Ice cream, waffles, Thai food. It's a nice celebration because my wife passed her degree, so it was all good.
Congratulations, well done. Obviously, we attended the Friday night matchup between Cops and Achilles. Unfortunately, as everybody knows, if you don't know by now, the editing process that I normally do, for some reason in the middle of the night, my laptop decided to do an update and I lost everything and I could not get any time back this weekend to try and recover it. But we have got the goal highlights from that game. You were there, Adam. What did you make of it? Just very quickly before we kind of jump into tonight's show. We'll talk about it in a bit more depth later on. But
well, that wasn't the best game of football I've ever watched, I'll be completely honest. It was 2-2, but there was a long periods where the game fell flat, and there were some good saves made, a couple of decent goals to be fair, but there were periods where after the equaliser to go 2-2, it didn't feel like either team were pushing for a winner overly hard. There was a lot of toing and throwing, and both teams tried to play fairly direct at times it just wasn't working for either of them. Everything was getting cut out. I think at one point I described it to you as a basketball match without tons of end product.
You did. And if it had been a match day experience, you would have seen that. But there we go. So
there's the summary. But
yeah,
a draw on the night, a fair result,
and
probably a fair representation of where both teams are in the league anyway. So
yeah, no, I do agree with you on that one. Do agree. So let's get into tonight's show. If you want to help support us, there are a number of ways in which you can do that. The free way in which you can do it is by hitting the subscribe button over on YouTube. We are on the road to 1,800. And Adam, fun fact for you. I don't know if you know this, but 40% of people who watch this show do not subscribe to the YouTube channel.
That is a fun fact, James. 40%.
40%. So if you are one of those 40% that watches the videos, all you need is a Gmail account, log into YouTube and hit subscribe. The benefit of that being is that you are informed every time we go live. So you don't have to watch out for reminders on Twitter for when videos are out. You hit subscribe, you get an email notification, and boom, away you go. And if you are one of those people that have subscribed, hit the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, the YouTube gods, whatever it is that makes the decisions twirl around at the YouTube algorithm headquarters, etc. So yeah, hit the like button because it really does help boost the video up in that algorithm and gets it out there to a wider audience and to more people. That would really mean the world. But of course, if you do want to take that support one step further, you can head on over to the Suffolk Non-League show. Go and check out all of our merchandise. The hats at the moment are making a bit of a resurgence, and we are heading into those winter months. So that could be the reason why those have picked up a little bit recently. So if you want to go and get yourself one of our hats, or of course the hoodies and the mugs to keep yourself warm during the winter, that would be greatly appreciated. You can, of course, make one-off donations like these guys have done over on Ko-fi.com. Link for everything is, of course, in the description of this video, and you can make monthly donations via Patreon, again like these absolute legends have done, and it really does help go towards the running costs of not only this show but all of the shows that we do on the channel, including, Adam, the new camera which we tested out during the Cops versus Achilles game. That was really exciting, and we got quite a good reaction from the people that were there who were really excited to see the upgrade. So no more of this. No more of this. You're not going to be seeing my
James's phone is dead. It's gone.
You're not going to be seeing it. Although, to be honest, it's a bloody good phone, but you're not going to be seeing much more of this from now on.
That's because your last phone was an iPhone 2 or something ridiculous.
Hey, that iPhone SE served me well, my friends.
I bet you're still probably using it as well because that's you. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. What a shocker.
Because this one doesn't have headphones in, so I can't listen to.
I've told you have to buy like a £10 thing to put in the bottom of it.
I know, but I have headphones. Like, I just want something that plugs in and it works. Leave me alone.
Bluetooth, James. Bluetooth.
I'm not
but it didn't stop there. Like, unfortunately, there was no one about for interviews, but we've got a new microphone kit.
Yes. We have
ready to go. So whoever's ready to speak to us next is going to get a slightly nicer experience.
Correct. We have got new microphones. We've got new equipment for all of that. We've got the new camera. Literally everything was ready and raring to go the other night, and no one turned up for an interview. But that is, there's not, it's nothing against either club. It's just the way that things fell on the evening. But yeah, if you are at one of those clubs that we're going to next time, you will be the first one to test out all of the new equipment. And again, all of that has been made possible thanks to the sponsors and everybody who makes donations towards the show. It all gets reinvested. None of it is kept in our back pockets.
We haven't even had a dinner together on it, have we?
No, we really haven't. We actually haven't. Like, none of it's been going towards us.
That's quite good going, considering I'm a fat git that likes food. So all good, really. So yeah.
So there we go. So yeah, those are the ways in which you can help us. And on a bit of a personal news front, I am absolutely, I'm so excited by this. I am, this is so cool. buzzing, and I will be buzzing after I've used these guys because it's such good quality. I am absolutely delighted to announce that thanks to Adam and his wonderful connections that he has in the world, I I am now sponsored. Me personally, not the show, not the YouTube channel, but me personally, I am sponsored by Anglia Coffee Solutions. Those guys, honestly, I'm not just saying this because they are now on board with me. I tried them for the first time this weekend, and oh my God, it's incredible. It is so good. So good. I didn't tell my wife who the company were, and she got one of the hot chocolates from one of their machines, and she was just like, wow, this is really good. I'm like, that's our new sponsor. So yeah, I'm really excited by that. But thanks to the guys over at Anglian Coffee Solutions. That really does mean the absolute world. You'll be seeing more of those on my socials, etc., over the few weeks. But definitely go check those guys out over on Twitter. I'll put the link in the description later on. Right, let's get some of your message up on the screen. Shem is in the building. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Ryan, evening guys, evening mate.
Congratulations on the weekend as well, Ryan. I know you had a big weekend.
Yes, he did. And hello, Alex. Good to see you. Been a while
since back, mate.
In the comment section. Match day is in. Yes, long time, Alex. Definitely. Matthew, love the intro, James. I'm back. Good to see you, Matthew. And yes, we've worked really hard on that intro, and it's much more upbeat and gets you really going for the show. Ian, hello all. Ian, good to have you on the show. Hannah, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Glenn's here. Vinny's here. One of my colleagues from work is here. Hello, SJ. Evening all from Ipswich Vale Exiles. That's always weird when somebody from work turns up. James Redmond, evening all. Hope you're well, James. I love this from Lee. Evening, gents. Great show, by the way. I've only found you on YouTube recently. I've been addicted since. Lee, I love that. And that just goes to show the power that you guys have by hitting that like button. It gets out there, it spreads to more people, and people like Lee can get involved. And maybe
there's quite a bit to binge, Lee, by the way. If you want to go back on the interviews through lockdown, there's a lot there.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. Irv is here. Ryan is also here. And so we've got loads of you in the building. Keep your messages coming in throughout the show. We've got a lot to go through and to talk about. Before we kind of get too far into the show, we do just want to send, first of all, our best wishes and an absolute speedy recovery to Colin, the March Town United fan. I don't know if any of you guys will have seen this from the weekend, but the Walsham versus March match had to be abandoned because sadly Colin collapsed during the game. He was taken to Bury Hospital since then. I don't think there's been any updates from March's Twitter feed from what I could see. But we, of course, at the show want to send all of our best to Colin, and hopefully he's doing okay. But we thought that was worth a shout. And again, hopefully we'll hear some good news from that. But yeah, not a nice way to kind of kick things off, but it's we just want to send all of our best to Colin. But
hopefully back at a game soon.
Yes, because from what we see, he's somewhat of a super fan and attends most matches, and obviously with that being away at Walsham, definitely want to send all of our best wishes to Colin. Bit of news from AFC Sudbury now as well. We had the announcement the other day that one of their youngsters has been signed up to another Football League side. Now, it's another player in amongst their academy that has gone on and is getting their chance to shine on the big stage. Jesper Lawrence has signed for Rochdale. Adam, this is a story that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
In particular, obviously, we all know the stories about Sudbury's academy and all of the good news from that. But again, another player that gets signed up, I think it's worth definitely talking about.
So I think that Sudbury have got a nice little production line of talent going, and at the club, I'm sure there is no better success than losing those players to a pro club. It's the best success you could wish for. They've been able to make that next step on their journey. So absolutely fantastic. And to be honest, it's going to be really nice to watch him closely and see how he flourishes into the professional game. We've had a little bit of deluge of local players going into the professional game in the last year or so. And it's really, really good for local football every time you hear something like that. But absolutely amazing. And for me, the big shout out goes to Sudbury and all they're doing there to bring their focus to youth football and ensuring development is a continual thing and being pushed on. So a great one for the local game.
Yeah, clearly doing something right there. I still keep an eye on Tyler French just to kind of see how he's doing. And obviously we know that he's now at Wrexham, was at Bradford at one point, but he's now moved on to Wrexham in the National League.
Making a starter there, though, isn't he? I think
he
already.
Is. Yeah, it seems to be
nailed down his place. Favorite. So and
but,
that's quite an exciting place to be at the moment.
But Rochdale are one of those teams that if you are good enough, they will give you an opportunity. You only have to look as far as Luke Matheson of recent years scored obviously the famous goal at Old Trafford, has then got his move to Wolves and has now had a couple of loan spells, including at Ipswich. But he was 17 when he first burst onto the scene. So Rochdale will be one of those teams that if you are good enough and you prove your worth, they will give you an opportunity. So, exciting times for Jesper.
You worry, don't you, with these young players that when they go to some of these clubs, will they get the opportunity or will their careers sort of really grind out? But I think that that's a very good example of a club that will give a team a chance. And I think Tyler French is another example of somebody who, although it didn't quite work out, he was able to move to another club and really carry on progressing his career at the right levels.
Yeah, I think because we do see a lot of players kind of go into different academy systems within our area, and obviously we do see a lot of people get kind of released by Ipswich and then drop down to this level of football. And it just goes to show if you join up with the right team, if you join up with the right academy, the right setup, people who actually take the time to invest in you, invest in your career and what is good for you, then the rewards will come to you because there's so many examples. Obviously, with Castro going to West Brom, he was in the non-league scene in our area for a long time. Has earned his chance, and obviously he played against Arsenal, didn't he, recently?
Yeah, he started against Arsenal, but he's like let's not be about the bush, but he's just been on the bench for other league games anyway, so he's getting his opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't know. I think this might just be a bit of a key message to anybody who's in the Ipswich Academy that just because maybe things don't work out doesn't necessarily mean that is in the end of the road. There's still plenty of opportunities for you. And the reason I say that is because I was at the pre-season game, and I've told you this off camera before. I was at the pre-season game between Stowe and Colchester, and I stood next to a Colchester coach who was there on the sideline just kind of watching the game as it goes on. And two of these lads approached him, and he obviously knew them. They were in his academy setup. And he said, "Oh, what are you up to now? Who are you playing for?" He went, "Oh, no, I binned it off. Like, the moment I got released by Colchester, I just wasn't interested anymore." And he was just like, "What? You had so much talent. You could have really gone on to do stuff." He went, "No, I'd just rather hang out with my mates."
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think, like I said, I think they lose that focus the moment a club drops them. And I don't know, like I said, there's plenty of opportunities for you out there. There's ways back into the game, and so many people are now starting to prove that in our area. And it just goes to show the good football that we have got going on in Suffolk and all of the main, we've got so many clubs now performing at a high level. I'm not going to reveal who we had our conversation with the other day, but we were talking about how much better as an overall collective Suffolk football is compared to other counties around us at the moment for the number of clubs that we've got at a good level. We're in a very strong position in this part of the world, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%.
So
totally agree.
There we go. Shem, Rochdale are great with youth. It's a shame. Shame it's a dump, though. Think last summer of the wine. Dan Snell, Liam Bennett, ex-Sudbury Academy coach, is now at Cambridge, gone on loan to Hemel Hempstead in National South this week. Think of Vardy's story, years in non-league, then a bit of luck, and you never look back. Yeah, I mean, Jamie Vardy is the classic one, isn't it? That everybody talks about. But yeah, absolutely. Definitely an opportunity. And as I said, all of us from the Suffolk non-league show wish Jesper all the best at Rochdale. We'll be definitely keeping an eye on his progress. Just to kind of go back to the main, the talking point that we had earlier on. Emily Video said that Colin is now at home. He's just awaiting results on there. So that's really good. I'm glad he's at home and he's sorting himself. Hopefully sorting himself out. Shem, Ian Wright. Yeah, another good.
Great example.
Another good shout. Very, very good shout. Also, one other bit of news before we move on. It's only very brief, and we're only going to touch on it for just a few seconds. But just to let everybody know, obviously, we mentioned about the incident a few weeks ago between Ipswich Wanderers and Brimsdown. You will have known about it. We're not going to go into it. We're not going to go through we're not going to dig anything up again. But the hearing is going to be taking place for the incident that happened this week. Now, hopefully we'll hear more about it in due course, and we'll have more of an update to kind of give you. But the preceding weeks since that news broke, every time in the comment section, people do say, what is the latest on this? Have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? So we only feel like it's right to say the hearing's taking place this week. That's all we know. When we get more information on it, we will, of course, discuss it in a fair and equal way, and we'll try and do our best to cover the story as best as we possibly can. I think we're now perfectly set up to be able to do that, thanks to the job that you're now in, Adam. I think we're in a really good position to handle that hopefully in an appropriate way, and cover things the right way. But as I said, we will talk about that more when we know.
Yeah. More. Yeah, absolutely. I just want to put a message of appreciation out to Ipswich Wanderers as well, who have allowed us to. We've been checking in with them in terms of the fact that we understand the allegations are against them. They've been really good with the way that we've handled it as well, and we're in dialogue with them, and they've helped us by letting us know when this hearing is. And have said that when everything's over, we'll be able to talk a little bit more about it in terms of everything that's happening. But we just have to make sure that all of the context and everything is in place, and that we're keeping it up to date at an appropriate level. It would be wrong to go any further.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you on that one. Going back to the Sudbury part, Sudbury also have an excellent academy, coaches who really help the players in the Sudbury Academy. Quite a few more players have a chance of making it pro, which I do agree. The amount of people that are coming through that system at the moment is quite startling, but from a good perspective, obviously not from a negative standpoint. But yeah, so as I said, those are the mini news items that we have to go through this week.
Mini news, Adam, a new thing for the show. I hope everyone likes mini news.
Yeah, exactly. When obviously there is a big news story to kind of cover and go through, we will of course do that. But I think it's just important to kind of touch upon some of the lighter stuff that goes on, some of the good news stories that happens as well. And of course, if you guys spot anything throughout the week that we may well miss, if there's anything you want us to talk about, DM us before the show goes out. We'll make sure we can try and get as much info on it as we possibly can. Or if it's something you want to kind of react to and talk about during the course of the show, then feel free to put it in the comment section. We'll see what we can try and do. Adam, before we move on to some of the scores and talking points from this weekend's action and this week's action just gone by, anything else you want to kind of touch upon there? You look poised with a question.
No, we've got quite a weekend of fixtures to go over. Well, week. There's been drama up and down non-league, I think, in terms of results. We had the benefit of it being Vase weekend, which I think first round of the Vase is one of the most exciting weekends in non-league football.
Yes. So
that happened as well. And we'll get on to have a look at that and to see where we are. It's a shame that one Ipswich Town isn't in the comments tonight, because I'm sure he'd have some things to say as well. There's a lot for him to talk to.
I'm sure he'll be watching the video back at some point, and we'll get his thoughts in the comment section afterwards. I'm sure he'll be there. Shall we start off with the Vase then, seeing as we're talking about it? Shall we jump into that straight away?
Yeah, you've got some nice new graphics for all this to show as well.
The
The whole show has got a nice new feel to it.
It does. It looks nicer, looks fresher, looks more clean. I like it. But yeah, so here we go then. Let's start off by talking FA Vase action. There was a lot that happened this weekend. If again, as always, if you were at any of these games throughout the week, if any talking points you want to go through, get it in the comment section. Let's get some more context behind some of these results. Let's get your thoughts and opinions on those games in the comment section as well. Let's get as many of you in the chat as we possibly can, active and ready to go. So, first of all, then, Vase action, we had some very, very interesting results. Let's talk through some of them. This is one of two slides on here. So, first of all, Brantham losing to Holland. Bit of a shock.
A bit.
Wouldn't you say?
At home as well. Christ alive. What a way to open this up.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that wouldn't have been where my bet went.
No. If I was I say if I was a betting man, I am a betting man, but my money would definitely not have gone on a Holland win. But no, fair play to them. Away from home, 2-1. It's a great result. We'll talk more about Brantham and their league form as we kind of get into the furlough none section of the show. But Brimsdown 0, Barkingside 1, Buckhurst Hill 3, Enfield 0, Coggeshall United 1, Glebe 3. Debenham and Peterborough Northern Star drew 1-1, but Debenham ended up going through to the next round as they won 4-2 on penalties. So, congratulations to Debenham. It's been it's been a tricky start for them, let's be honest. It's not been the best of starts league-wise, but a win in the cup builds that momentum.
Penalty shootout win as well. That's a buzz.
Yeah, you got to love that. Ensbury Rovers 2, Huntingdon 0, Hackney Wick 1, New Salamis 4. Love that name. Absolutely love it. Housestead 1, Potton United 2, Harwich and Parkston 1, Ipswich Wanderers 2. So a good win away from home for Ipswich. God Manchester 6-1 against FC Parsons Drove. Obviously, Parsons Drove are a new team into our area of football. Obviously, again, life has not started well for them in the furlough none north. But a very comprehensive win for God Manchester.
God Manchester haven't been going very well in the league either. So that is some result for them. But maybe a tie that they needed. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair comment to make. But yeah, definitely good win for God Manchester. Long Melford, after picking up a couple of wins in the league, have also followed up with a 3-0 win against Little Oakley. Now
they haven't conceded in 3 matches now after getting battered week in, week out.
Yeah, it's going quite well for them over the past few games, and obviously we know about Little Oakley and their cup form this season. We know about what they're doing in the FA Cup and who they've got this weekend. So that's no mean feat. That result. I think that's an impressive win for Long Melford, and again, slowly but surely turning the tide after what has been a difficult start to the season. Newbury Forest 1, Haverhill Borough 0. And on the second slide here, we got Parkview drawing 2-2 with Sawbridgeworth Town, but Sawbridgeworth won 2-1 on penalties. St Margaret's Bury 0, Benfleet 2, Tackley 2, Frentford 0, UEA losing 2-1 to Swaffham. That was a game you were quite interested to keep an eye on in terms of the standard and the difference between the two leagues. Well, are you shocked by the result, or what do you make of the result?
I think UEA will be shocked by the result. I didn't watch the game to see how it is, but shout out to Greg, manager of Swaffham, for getting the first win under his belt and doing it in the Vase, earning the club a bit of money and getting a bit of momentum going now. Obviously, UEA are a league below. Let's not take anything away from that. But he needed a win. He desperately needs one in the league, but they just needed a win. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a good place to start. Let's see how they build on it now, and hopefully it pulls the team together again.
Yeah, no, definitely agree with that. As we mentioned earlier on in the show, the Walsham and March Town result was abandoned. The game is going to be replayed tomorrow night. And for those of you who haven't seen it, we will be live tomorrow night with the Non-League Now show, going through all of the scores and updates from games across all of the games. And I believe we've got some step 3 and step 4 action to include into the mix. So it's going to be a very busy show.
Busy night tomorrow.
100%. But myself and Adam will be there. We will be live covering all of the games. If you can't make it, join us on the show. If you are going to a game this week, then please do get in contact with us. Any match reports, any feedback, any highlights you want to send our way, full-time, half-time, whatever the case may be, we want to hear from you. Come on the show tomorrow night. So, yeah, we will be covering the Walsham and March game. Walthamstow 0, Hadley United 0, but Hadley winning 4-3 on penalties. Again, big shout out to them winning on penalties. You've got to love that.
Nick got some massive praise on Twitter as well. Someone that went Twitter account, The Onion Bag, saying it was one of the most assured non-league goalkeeping performances they'd ever witnessed.
Wow.
So big shout out to him for that.
Yeah.
And another good result for Hadley on a exciting season.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. Witton 4, Enfield Borough 3. A very high scoring game in that one. Obviously, you know the guys over at Witton quite well now.
Yeah.
Anything you can kind of report on in terms of the game?
I haven't actually bothered speaking to James Bloomfield this weekend, if I'm honest, because I've been too busy myself. But I do know from the paper report that Witton were actually 2-0 up before Enfield finally pulled it back to 3-0. And then a very, very late winner from debutant Asa Millard got the win. So done the business. They've remembered how to do a win again. Things are back on track for Witton.
I think they've just remembered how to play. You see the league games they've played, they're so far behind everybody already. Again, we'll get into it more later on, but just to play a game of football would be nice.
Yeah.
So there we go. Wisbech St Mary 0, Great Yarmouth 6.
They gave it a good go, didn't they?
Very comprehensive win for Great Yarmouth. I'm expecting Dan to pop up in the comment section any minute now.
Did Dan go and watch this?
No, Dan Barnard. He loves Wisbech.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 6-0 though for Yarmouth. Again, another team that needed a big result, and they've got it.
Yep. No, I agree with on that one. And then the final one from the FA Vase is Woodbridge 1, Woodford Town 1, and Woodford won 5-4 on penalties. And we've got a few people commenting on this game.
Sharon's comment in the sector is unbelievable.
Yeah, so Woodbridge, first of all, Sharon, thank you very much for commenting. We really do appreciate it. We went out on penalties. I still can't decide if the Woodford goalkeeper was completely bonkers or just disrespectful by turning his back to the penalty taker. I've never seen it before. Was that...
Please send us your VO footage.
Yeah, if you've got that, we would love to see it. We would love to see it. In fact, I'm going to just try and search. I don't know whether or not Woodbridge have actually done a highlights package from the game yet. But that would be very interesting if they have done, if we could see it.
It sounds like absolute madness.
Yeah, they have. Oh, this is interesting. Keep talking, Adam. Keep talking. Let me just...
So it's totally unprepared for this, and I've got to keep talking. Excellent preparation there. Alex telling us that the forage is on YouTube. Good bit of spell check in there. I like that. I like foraging. So yeah, footage all up, or it's on Twitter page or Woodpecker TV. That'll be interesting to have a look at if we can go through that. If there is anyone that's getting stuff through, the same stuff goes. If we're aware of any goals or anything that get posted on Twitter, please tag us in so we can show them in these summaries. I think we need to do a little bit more work and a bit of a roundup to try and get as many of them as possible in, because that's going to be the direction of the show going forward, is showing more goals, introducing more games, so that we can watch that back together and get a better playback of what happens in each game. Another interesting comment.
I've just seen it. Let me share it onto my screen then. This is mental. This is absolutely mental. Well, sorry, guys. I've been so engrossed in this. So here we go. So the game's at full time. We're now going into a penalty shootout. And here it is. The goalkeeper. You see that? So there he is. I mean, it went in.
Is that every penalty he does this?
I don't think so.
Is that a drone camera for the game?
Yeah, honestly, absolutely incredible. Because look, there he is rolling around. See, it was just for the first penalty.
Up inside the while the game was on.
So yeah,
talk about trying to get in somebody's head.
No. He's
done it. What is he doing?
That's really bizarre. I don't know if he does it for any of the other penalties, but
someone needs to post that on Twitter. That will go mad.
2 out of 3, so 2 out of 4. By the way, what an incredible shot of the whole of Woodbridge behind, by the way. Right, that's interesting. Oh, it went in.
What was the penalty score here?
Oh, God knows, I've lost count here. This must be the deciding penalty. Yeah, it was.
Well, he's not too happy. His team have won. What's he still standing on the halfway line for?
Incredible. But yeah, no, I get what you mean. Very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. Interesting. Shem, Woodford were actually threw on goal in the last minute of Woodbridge, and the referee blew for full time. That's brilliant. I think the footage will be on Twitter page or Woodpecker. Yeah, it definitely has done.
It's absolutely baffling way to set yourself up for penalties in such an important game. Like, what kind of coaching is that? If that goes wrong, you're going to look an absolute mug.
Yeah,
does he do it in matches? Like,
I know Sharon's not going to like this, but I don't mind that.
Oh, get out. Honestly,
I don't mind that.
Shut your computer down and finish. That's awful.
That's brave. That's quite brave.
It's anti-football. No.
Look, I get why people would be pissed off if it's your club, but I don't know. I mean, look, it works. Did it work? Because the 2 penalties he did stand backwards, actually, he did let in. So
one of them just hit him on the leg and went in his own net.
It was the first one where he like twisted himself around, turned himself around, and went,
There's also, I think, when someone turns around, it's that thing of getting in someone's head, because the temptation is just to hit him, to absolutely whack it at him because it will hurt. And the first penalty taker, if they do that, just to say, right, here, I'm off.
Do you know what? Actually, on reflection, I can't condone it. Like, I kind of.
What are you thinking?
I kind of admire the bravery behind it and just the absolute shithousery of it. But you know, it's we were laughing at him, asking him to stand on his head one-handed, etc. That's the right way to deal with it. To be fair, that's the right way to deal with it.
It is terrible.
It's a bit aggressive there, Adam. Brilliant.
I don't like it.
So there we go. Just thanks a lot for the guys for the comments about the graphics, by the way. It's like going from Eurosport to Sky with these graphics update. That is absolutely brilliant. I love that. Don't worry about being late, Tony. I'm glad you're here. Good to have you in the building, my man. If it works for him, good luck. No,
have you ever seen that though before? You've been refereeing the game for a good while. I doubt you've ever seen that before. Surely.
No. It's very rare. I've never seen anything like that. We need to get that viral. Woodpecker TV, reach out to us. Let's get this going. Let's get it a viral moment for Suffolk football. Need to make it happen. So yeah, as a result of the first round action taking place, the second round draw was then actually done on the Saturday evening. And I don't know why, but it took me ages to find the cup draw. It's not very accessible online. It took me a long, long time to be able to find it. But we did find it. I found it. Anyway, here are... You are feisty this evening. You really are. So here are the second round draws for the FA Vase. So Ely versus Mildenhall, an all furlough none
affair, first of
Isn't
all.
that a derby as well?
I think it could well be. It could well be. I'm
I've
sure
got a funny feeling that's a derby. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm not great with geography.
No. Well, yeah, me neither. Swaffham
Home
versus
tie.
Enfield Rovers. Yes, good for Swaffham, to be honest. Hopefully they can build on their first round win and push on and get through to the third round here. Sheringham versus Thetford. This is one I'm quite interested in because obviously Sheringham are going very well in the Furlough None North. Thetford having a really difficult time with it. It will be very similar to the game that we were talking about earlier on between Swaffham and UEA to see how the two levels of things compare. So
I think that's a tough game for Thetford, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
With how Sheringham are going and the confidence they're going to be carrying, I think that's a really tough game for Thetford.
Yeah.
And Matt Morton won't want that to be a banana skin. He'll want to be smashing through that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. Dan, Ely versus Milnhall's a Friday night game. I might have to get myself down there.
I was going to say that will be some game.
Yeah, that looks pretty tasty, to be honest. Whittlesea Athletic versus Framlingham. Great Yarmouth are at home against the winners of either Walsham or March, and we'll find out who wins on Tuesday night. Kirkland Payfield versus Debenham.
Tough draw.
That's a really tough draw for Debenham.
Yeah.
Really, really tough. Good luck to those lads for that one. Newmarket versus Dis. Now,
it's a good tie.
It is a good tie because Dis have now made their permanent appointments of managers, which
they've won again.
Which, is good news for them. And as you quite rightly said, they did win at the weekend, which is very good news for the club considering what had happened in the past few weeks. So there is that. It could be an interesting tie. Now, on paper, it has to be said that's a Newmarket win all day long. It is. But who knows?
Paper never won a football match, James.
Well, that is very true, Adam. That is very true. And we do wish Matt and Mark all the best at this town because we all know that club, if above anything, just needs a little bit of consistency. That's all it needs. And if it could just get some consistency, it would sort itself out in no time. I'm absolutely convinced of it. Absolutely.
This is like Leeds was 5 to 6 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good way.
Decent players should be doing better. New manager every two days.
You think about this as an actual club, right in the middle of everything you want between the two counties, right on the A140. It's
so ideal. So ideal.
Location-wise, it's fantastic. Right in the middle of two counties. It is spot on. It just needs a little bit of, as I say, continuity. Everyone just settling down and all heading in the right direction, and that club could
proper club as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, proper good facilities.
Yeah, I love that stand there at this. Really do. Anyway, let's move on. Let's not make it the dish show. Wroxham versus God Manchester. Interesting tie there.
Like a couple of years ago, those two would have always been competing for pretty much the same spot in the league. So,
Yeah, definitely. Lakenheath versus Downham. Now, obviously, these teams know each other well from being in the Furlough None North last season. Lakenheath, again, having a tough time of it. Will ideally be seeing this as a game that they can use to springboard their season.
Absolutely.
But Downham are a very, very good team. They're a very good team. Haven't played as many games this season as they would have liked, but they are performing very well. So hopefully we'll... that could be a very good matchup there between those two. Newbury Forest versus Buckhurst Hill. Redbridge versus Hadley. So unfortunately for Hadley, they do have an away tie. But I'm sure that they'll be seeing that one as one they can win. And then we have White Enzyme versus Ipswich Wanderers. Wivenhoe versus Stanway Rovers. Whitton United, again, rewarded with a home tie against Warmley Rovers, a team that we're gradually getting used to, overcovering from the Furlough None South. Benfleet versus Holland. Cornard versus Barkingside. Burnham Ramblers versus Long Melford. That could be quite an interesting
That'll be a great game, that one.
That could be very good because, again, Burnham have done particularly well at the start of this season. Long Melford are now starting to pick things up after a slow start. That could be a good game. That could be a very good game. I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome of that. And then Haverhill Rovers versus London Lions.
It's like an NFL team, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds like a... Yeah, I was literally just about to say that.
London Lions. That's a terrible name for a football team. Never mind. I'm sure they can do a football.
Shem, this are the Harchester United of non-league football. That is such a good way to describe it. There will be so many people. There will be so many people in the audience right now who haven't got a clue who Harchester United are. They will not understand that reference, but I do, and I absolutely love it. That is superb, Shem. Absolutely superb. Please tell me you know what he's talking about. Please tell me you watch Harchester United.
Watch Harchester United. It's not what I thought it was. No, I don't know.
Dream Team.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought it was. Dream Team. Like you said, do you watch Harchester? I was going to say it's from Dream Team. Yeah.
Yeah, the team that play in purple on Sky One. Like they need to get that series on Netflix. I want to watch it all over again.
Did you know Danny Potter, who was at Stowe, now at Sudbury, was in that?
Was he really?
Yeah.
Wow, did not know that.
No, it's a bit of his claim to fame.
Okay. Might interview him on that one, but we'll come back to that another day.
Oh, I've talked to you about it for days.
Alex, how come Sudbury? Do you mean Sudbury reserves weren't in the competition? Do you mean the reserves, or do you mean the first team? Because the first team are going to come in later on.
Not in this, not in the Vase.
Did they not?
No, they go into the trophy, don't they?
Oh yeah, of course they do. Yeah, of course, yeah.
Is he talking about Sudbury Sports or whatever it is? They probably are. They're just regionalised, and we haven't bothered covering that bit because we just don't. There's only so much that we capture because of the leagues. Like if it's in Essex Senior or whatever it is, then we don't tend to capture the teams that are doing anything. It's hard enough to keep up with Furlough None South.
Yeah.
So they might be. If they're not, Alex, don't know. Do some investigating. Tell us.
Yeah, no, I like that. So from that FA Vase, is there one particular tie that you're looking forward to? Out of them, I'll bring you the graphics.
The Sheringham Thetford one, the one we discussed early on, I think it's going to be a real good matchup, based on league position, based on the fire that there's going to be amongst that for some success. Thetford would love to go a couple of rounds in the Vase, no doubt. But Sheringham are really enjoying a resurgence this season. So
I'm kind of torn between the Burnham Ramblers game and the Lake and Heath one. They're the two I'm looking forward to seeing because
I feel that Debenham could have a difficult time out of all of them.
I just don't. I don't get the same buzz about seeing two teams that are playing in the same division as each other facing off in the cup competitions.
No, it's good if they never see each other and then that's the first time.
Yeah, I just don't get that same excitement for those kind of games. I like seeing these cup competitions where, for example, Whittam playing against Warmley Rovers, a team you're never going to play against normally because of where you're playing against. Do you know what I mean? Like, it
adds a bit of spice to it for the team from the lower division as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, upcoming for this weekend, we of course do have FA Cup action. So here are the FA Cup action that we've got going on this weekend. We did stretch a little bit for the last game. We were humming and hawing about whether or not to include it on the graphic, but we thought, seeing as we're covering both teams now, it's worth putting them on there as a bit of a stretch. As I said, I know it's a bit of a stretch. So we've got Norwich United versus Mildenhall. We have got East Thurrock United versus Needham Market. Sudbury versus Stowe. One of the games of the weekend, without a shadow of a doubt, going off against...
That one needs to be on the TV, I tell you. That'll be quality.
Yeah, if Sudbury can somehow get that live streamed, although it's probably a 3 p.m. kickoff, so we probably can't. But yeah, need to see. I want to see highlights of that game. It could be an absolute belter. Chelmsford versus Little Oakley, the tie that most people are talking about. Wish all the best for Little Oakley. I really do. I hope they can go out and do themselves justice and do themselves proud. Kings Langley versus Leiston, and then as a Great Wakeham Rovers against Peterborough Sports. Adam, is there any question what the tie of the round is for you?
Oh, absolutely not. Sudbury Stowmarket all day long. For me, I can't wait to find out what happens there.
Obviously, it's the return of Rick as well, and Angelo actually to Stowe.
Yeah, there's so much history between the two anyway, and then with that going on as well. So quality.
Irv is looking forward to Norwich United versus Mildenhall.
I'll be honest, if the Sudbury Stowmarket one hadn't have wound out that way, then I think we would have all been gravitated to Norwich Mildenhall anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's not a bad runner-up tie, is it?
No, oh God, no. The only slight disappointment from all of this is that two of our local sides in Leiston and Needham are both against step-free sides, and they're both away from home.
Yeah.
Hopefully, obviously we want two of them, but if one of them makes it through, I'll be happy with that. I will be very happy with that. So they're the FA Cup games. Let's move on to step-free football now. Southern Premier League Central. Here are the results from the weekend. Needham Market involved in a brilliant game against Banbury United, a 3-3 scoreline. Absolutely incredible match. I was kind of keeping up to date with the scorelines on Saturday when I was in the car showrooms, and this game kept popping up on my timeline as one of those that's being really active. But fair play to Needham, getting a 3-3 draw there. I can't quite remember the sequence of who went ahead, then who equalised, what the kind of stuff happened on there. But it looked like an absolutely brilliant game nonetheless. You can, of course, see some of the other results from this league, but we saw that Lowestoft lost 2-3 to Russell Olympic at home. But the result of the weekend, without a shadow of a doubt, is Leiston's 2-1 win away from home against Peterborough Sports. Now, for those
result.
For those of you who are not keeping up to date with step 3 as much as you should do, Peterborough were unbeaten. In fact, they'd won all 5 of their opening games. They were going absolute great guns. So for Leiston, this is a brilliant result.
This is their game against a team of very, very high quality, with very, very good players involved. To come back and with 3 points from that is very good. Very good indeed.
So there you go, Graham. Evening, guys. A great result for Leiston and a brace from the boy Finley Barnes. He's so good, isn't he? He's such a good player. I remember seeing him for a couple of games when he was at Norwich in their kind of youth sub. But yeah, squad is looking very strong this season. It has to be said, obviously, bit of a slow start. They got their opening couple of wins. Then they kind of tailed off a little bit. But, back-to-back wins. Absolutely brilliant for them.
And this one is a banger. So, well done, Leiston. Huge.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Buzzing for scoring 2 goals on the weekend. I saw that result on Saturday. Well done, Leiston. Says Irv on there. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Davis commented on the Needham game. They were 3-1 down, which to claw themselves back into that game when you are away from home, with the way things have been going for Needham this season, they could have quite easily just down tools at 3-1. But
Banbury are tough opposition as well.
Yeah, prior to this game, because we talked about it on last week's show, Banbury had won 4 out of their 5 games, and they'd drawn the other. So they were going very, both them and Peterborough were going into this in good form, and both of our sides have picked up very, very positive results. So very, very pleasing from that local perspective.
Just a shame on the Lowestoft front, really. There.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if you look at Russell's form going into that, they'd won 2, drawn 1, and lost 1. So, they're a good team on their day. But yeah. It really is a shame that we couldn't cap off all 3 of our sides getting a positive result. David got it back to 3-3 and had chances to go ahead. A draw was a fair result in the end. So it's a good assessment there from David. But if we look at the league table-wise, shall we move on from the bottom half of the table? It doesn't make for great reading for both. For 2 of our local sides. It's very early on in the season.
It's very early on, but it makes for grim reading compared to expectation. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough. You don't need to dwell on it because it's so early on, but compared to expectation, that's not good.
Yeah.
But
no.
Needham obviously showing they've got the grit and determination in there to turn around difficult spells. 2 players moved on from Needham today. So that'll be interesting to see if there's any changes happen there as well. So
yeah, just to let everybody know, the 2 players, Billy Hunt and Andy Fennell, are the 2 players that left
I think
Needham.
Andy Fennell only came in the summer, but has had a change in work commitments. So yeah.
Yes, that is very true. That is very true. But yeah, we want to see Lowestoft starting to pick things up very, very quickly. It looks like Needham is slowly starting to turn things around. But from Lowestoft's perspective, they need to start turning some of those losses into draws and moving up the table as quickly as possible. From a Leiston perspective, though, things are going very well. Very well indeed. They are just outside the playoffs, 10 points from their opening 6 games. A decent goal difference as well. And again, starting to look like they could be one of those teams that are pushing for the playoff spots.
You look at that league, though, it makes that weekend win look very, very strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Leiston could be on for a good season there.
Yeah. And it makes the point that Needham got as well that more impressive when you see the league table with Banbury being up there in second.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point, James. Cool.
Good point for me and a good point for Needham. There we go. We move on. Midweek action. You love that. I can see you smirking away there. Midweek action at step 3. We will, of course, be covering 2 of the local games from this division on tomorrow night, rather. Needham are at home against AFC Rushton and Diamonds, and Lowestoft are away against St Ives. So with St Ives losing 3 of their opening 5 games, Lowestoft will probably sense that as a bit of an opportunity. Rushton are inconsistent, to say the least. And again, it's an opportunity for Needham to get some points on the board. So
a big opportunity tomorrow after a really promising comeback at the weekend.
Yeah. I'm expecting something from both of our teams there. Ian Honeyman, performance of the week between Leiston and Leiston Reserves. Yeah, we'll get into Leiston Reserves in a bit, but I do agree with you on that one. From an overall club perspective, it's been a very positive weekend.
I was going to say, and Leiston's weekend, they've got much to celebrate. And I'm sure that the clubhouse was buoyant.
Yeah, definitely. Shem, Peterborough versus Tamworth. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the form table, I mean, Jesus Christ.
We'll keep an eye on that one. I don't know if Mike Williams will be at that game as a Peterborough sports follower. So if he is, hopefully we can do something there.
Yeah. Shem, scary to think that there are 4 ex-National League teams in and amongst there. I'll tell you what, if you can name them, Adam.
Oh, Nuneaton, Rushton Diamonds. Were Lowestoft that high?
Yeah, they were. They were in the they were National League North, weren't they? They never quite reached it to step 1. So we've got Nuneaton, Rushton. I want to say Tamworth.
Yeah, I was going to say Tamworth.
Yeah, Tamworth. And who's the 4th one?
I thought it might be the team that are bottom.
Stourbridge.
Yeah. I might be miles off on that.
Yeah, good to fit. Shem, let us know who the 4th one is in the comments. Ben, sorry I'm late. Don't worry about it, mate. Glad you're in the building. Hopefully you're doing well.
Better late than never, Ben.
Yeah, join in with the rest of the chat, mate. Keep, if you've been to any of these games, if you've got comments on any of these teams, get involved in the comment section. We want to hear from you, mate. Mike, I knew he was here. I knew he would be here. I'll be there tomorrow night. Should be a belter. Mike, if you want to come on the show, if you want to give us reports on what goes on at that game, we want to hear from you. So let me know. Shem is clapping, so I'm guessing the Stourbridge one is correct.
We got it, yeah.
But Ben has said Tamworth, Nuneaton, Rushton, and Biggleswade.
Definitely not Biggleswade.
Don't know.
Although there's about 94 teams in Biggleswade, so one of them must have been successful at some point.
Up the Leiston, great results, says Lucas. Right, let's move on to... there was actually one game taking place on the weekend. It doesn't involve any of our local sides, but I thought it was worth a graphic. Let's give Redditch and Barwell their moment in the spotlight. If
Can
you
we
want
just
to go
say
to
it?
that game,
Yeah, oh, go on. I didn't know you were going to talk it. I didn't know you were going to talk more about it.
I was just going to say, if you're in the area, you want to go, the game is on.
Can't even tell you where bloody Redditch is. Obviously, you can notice that we've got a couple of poster boys now for our different fixtures. If you're at a club and you want to submit a picture of somebody that is in this sort of stance, we need to see full body, feet on the pitch, because that's how this graphic works. Tag us, send us the pictures, and your player, you yourself, you could be, you could well be poster boy.
100%. And that goes for any of our leagues that we cover, from SIL all the way up to Step 3. If you want to be, or if you want someone from your club represented on these graphics, these can be changeable at any point. Let us know. We will get your picture up on the screen.
I hope Stu from Matchday doesn't mind us volunteering for that, but we can. I'm sure he'll be able to do it, and we'll be able to rotate these graphics week on week. But for now, a couple of players there leading the way.
Can we do managers? Yeah, if you've got shots of managers, we'd be up for that as well. I'm sure we can make that happen. Yeah, should we get Muzzy on one of these? He'd love that.
Muzzy would be a big fan.
Yeah. Brilliant stuff. Right, step 4 now. We move on to the Ishmael North. Look at that. Carlos Edwards on the left-hand side. Absolutely love that. So some of our local results then. So a big win for Sudbury away from home, 3-0 against Basildon. You cannot underestimate how big that win is. 3 goals away from home, a clean sheet.
Again.
And according to Rick, who posted out on Twitter, when you don't perform well and you pick up 3 points, that's a sign of a good team.
Don't perform well and win 3-0, flipping heck.
Yeah, I know.
That's worrying.
But, you know, Fev, you know, he was quite honest with it, you know, with the performance. But, yeah.
Wow.
Worrying signs for the rest of the league, I guess. Brentwood 1, Stowmarket Town 1. So a point away from home for the boys at Stow.
I think Stow are going to be disappointed. I got sent a review which shall remain anonymous, but apparently the goalkeeping performance was a raffle ticket entry. It was a no from Basildon or Brentwood, from Brentwood, sorry. Yeah, apparently their goalkeeper was absolutely atrocious, with a highlight being a pass back which he went to control, tripping over the ball and hitting the floor. Ball goes out for a corner. So yeah, a big missed opportunity I sense from Stowmarket at the weekend.
Yeah, well, from what you say, definitely. Evening, Lee. Good to have you in the building, mate. Good to see you. And Lee is going to be at one of our games tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to seeing his coverage of it. The next result, Ryan's already talked about it. It's about time that we won. The lone players from Ipswich are quality. They won 2-1 against Haybridge Swifts. You know, league-wise, they've won 2 and they've lost 2. Cup-wise, it's not obviously been great. We obviously know about the Norwich result the other day, but you know, having only played the 4 games, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Leon in the comment section last week did quite rightly say that they will turn that around very quickly. And hopefully they will.
I saw a great highlight that alludes to Ryan's point, which said Lone Rangers improved the quality, but familiar faces score again for Bury. Right. I thought that's a fantastic little headline.
Yeah. Alex, up the island. I know which result you're talking about. Canvey Island, 4-0 winners against Hashtag
are struggling, aren't they? They are struggling.
Hashtag just saying. Coggleshall 2, Felixstowe and Walton United 1. A shame we couldn't make it a full set of points on the board for the teams in our area. Dereham 1, Great Wakering Rovers 1, and by all accounts, Dereham were not impressed by their own performance this weekend. They said that they weren't up to the races. They're lucky to get away with a draw.
Felixstowe suffering with injuries as well, just to check back on that one.
Yeah. Shem, hashtag relegation. Ryan, Bury are winning some, but it's very uncomfortably. Dan, hashtag are currently 1-0 up on Malden tonight. Wow. Yes, I knew they were playing tonight. That's going to be in my graphic in a few moments. But yeah, very, very interesting on that one.
It's currently now 2-0, which is some turn up considering how good Malden are.
Yeah, Malden versus Graves was a very good game on Friday night. Two good sides that will definitely be up there. But as Ryan has put in the comment section, 2-0 to hashtag now. Wow. I did not see that result coming at all.
I don't think hashtag saw it coming either. So
Well,
they'll take that all day long.
100%. But this is how the league table looks. Now, obviously, again, we're still very early days, but we've got two of our sides in the bottom half of the moment. Felixstowe on 4 points out of their 4 games. Stowe are in 12th place, having got 5 points from their 4 games. Stowe have had a very tough start on paper, so I kind of expected this from them. Felixstowe, I'd say, again, probably expected something similar.
They'll be looking to get back to form when they've got their injuries sorted. They won't be worried.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that one. Definitely agree. Top half-wise, again, look at that. Bury now with that 1 win, jump up to 9th place from there. So they're 2 wins from their opening 4 games. Dereham just outside the playoffs, 7 points from 4. But I suppose the big talking point from our world, Sudbury, unbeaten, 3 wins out of 4, sitting in second place with 10 points. A few question marks about where they were at during pre-season. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Their fans complaining about how the performances were and what was going on and didn't like what they see, and ex-players gone out and we've lost our big hitters and our big names. And
trust the process, boys.
Trust the process. Jesus.
Oh my goodness me, James. Our chat has been attacked. Webcamchat.com, hot girls and boys video chat. Let's get that bad boy out of there.
You've made it, guys. You've made it when your chat is getting spammed. That's all I'm going to say. We have made it. Adam, we can retire now. We've done it.
Thumbs up for that. Wowzers.
Yeah, fair play. Like I said, we've made it. There we go.
Stick a like in the video if you're quick enough to try and click on the avatar of the person that actually posted that to see what content they were hiding. Debbie does Debenhams is on.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. So, midweek action. We talked about it. Hashtag are currently in action against Malden and Tiptree. That game is taking place tonight. They're 2-0 up at the moment. We'll be very interested to see. Well, that must be approaching full time by now.
Yeah, it's getting late. We've got all of these to cover tomorrow night in addition to our usual slots. So this is going to be fun.
Yeah, I didn't think this one through, really, did I? Sudbury are at home against Dereham.
Belter of a game.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to covering that one. Bury are at home as well against Coggeshall Town. We've got Stowmarket away from home against 3 defeats from 3. Haybridge Swift. Stowe will be seeing that one as a 3-pointer without a shadow of a doubt. Holbridge Sports, again, not had a good start to the season. Felixstowe can go. They can definitely
smelling blood, won't they?
Yeah, can definitely go there and start to get a good result under their name. But yeah, some good fixtures to kind of sink our teeth into on tomorrow night's live show. Again, another plug. If you want to come on the show tomorrow night, if you're at one of these games, we would love to hear from you. Get involved, comment, and let us DM me on Twitter. We'll definitely get you on there. And we want to hear as many reports from tomorrow night's games as we possibly can. So if you're at any of these, let us know. And then on the weekend, obviously, we've got the FA Cup games, which take some of our sides out of league action. But from a local perspective, we've got Dereham versus Basildon. Felixstowe go away to hashtag, which,
big game.
If Felixstowe can get a positive result, that could be a very good game. But the one thing I do worry about is, what the hashtag lads are like. If they get themselves their win tonight against a very good Malden side, their confidence will be sky high, and I just don't, I don't want that to have a bit of a negative effect on what Felixstowe do from, as you quite rightly say, the injuries they've got at the moment, whether or not any of those guys will be back up and running for this game. But as I said, you get a positive result tomorrow yourselves, and you don't have to worry about that side of things. You just go into it playing your own game, playing your own way, and who knows?
Be interesting when we round everything up tomorrow night after the games are finished, when we do the sort of little tie-up session we do when we see how it's affected leagues and stuff like that, what that does.
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely. And from Bury's perspective, away from home on the weekend against Witton United, who, despite a poor result on the weekend, 3 wins from their opening 3 games, they've started off the season quite well.
By the sounds of it, hashtag have sealed the win tonight. Now 3-0 up. That is an absolutely shocking result from a Malden point of view. But hashtag will be buoyant.
Definitely. Ryan has put, I doubt the game will be on. Torrential downpour most of the day tomorrow. Bury's pitch floods after someone spit on it. I did see the images the other day.
That was the car park that's flooding the pitch, wasn't it? Russell was going mad.
Yeah.
The drainage issues.
But we'll be very interested to see whether or not that game does go ahead. Right, Furlough None Prem time now. Results from midweek.
Bit of imagery here from our resident photographer in the chat, Hannah. Thank you very much. One for you on the credits.
Yep, 100%. Where do you even start? With
goals.
Yeah, definitely. Hadley 0, Long Melford 5, March 6, Swaffham 0, Mildenhall 3, Haverhill Rovers 1, and Norwich United 3, Thetford 1. Where do you want to start, Adam? What result stands out for you? For me, it's Long Melford.
Yeah, I mean, Long Melford it's quite the turnaround, isn't it, for them? I don't really know what happened to Hadley that day. I saw a couple of tweets go out, and but Melford have found their stride. But it's another weekend where I was sending you very questioning messages about what on earth was happening at Swaffham. Like, all right, March had got their first win against Witton, and they followed it over 6-0 against Swaffham. It's unbelievable. But yeah, it's Norwich United putting Thetford to the sword, and Mildenhall keeping up the pace as well. So good little batch of results there.
Yeah, Dan, Mildenhall are very impressive once again, especially as they have a lot of injuries. But yeah, Long Melford followed this up with another very good result on the weekend. But prior to that, they lost every game that they played this season.
It's unbelievable.
That was a very, very impressive win for those guys there. On the weekend, we saw Ely losing 2-0 to Mulbarton. Mulbarton just keep on going. Have just been absolutely incredible.
Got the goals from that, haven't you, James?
I have. Good call, Adam.
We need to come up with a more structured way of remembering when we've got goals to show and when we haven't.
Do we just put G in brackets next to the games that we do have goals for?
Yeah, or we could come up with a less messy way of doing it.
So here is the first goal from the weekend.
This is being shown in 120p.
I can't help it.
Christ alive! What kind of internet are you using?
Here we go. The pitch is getting better.
Did you see that little decoy run in front to block the defender by Ben?
Let's have a look. Let's watch it again.
He runs in front of everyone there.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So that was the first goal from the weekend. And then the second goal here, again, watching it in 72p. That's a foul throw, surely, first of all.
But those don't count anymore.
Well, no, I guess they don't.
That's a handball.
Handball, ref.
And that's a strike. Oh, did it hit the post?
I guess it did.
Okay, where's the goal?
Did they go in? Did they go in?
Was that the goal?
No, it's so close to his first.
Oh, hit the post. Oh, you got me so excited. Where's the second goal, James?
I know I get you excited, mate. Don't worry about it. Right, here we go. Here's the first one. Good cutback. What's going on with the defending?
They're at 6s and 7s.
Oh, they're going to be so annoyed by that defending.
Yeah, it's just a messy non-league goal.
Yeah, they're going to be so annoyed with that. So annoyed. But yeah, so that was between the Ely and Mulbarton game. So thank you to Mulbarton for reaching out to us and letting us know about those highlights on there. Haverhill Rovers 0, Fakenham 5. Great result for Fakenham, considering
not so much for Haverhill.
Well, no, not for Haverhill, but for Fakenham, they'd lost their last 4 games back to back. So that's
unbelievable.
Brilliant win. Kirkland Patefield 3, Thetford 0, Lakenheath 1, Galston 2, Norwich United 2-1 winners against Newmarket.
Big result that.
Yeah, very big result. And I mean,
Some
would you say it's a bigger
opportunity.
result? Would you say it's a bigger result? Wroxham 1, Mildenhall 2. What's the better score? What's the better result? I mean,
Well, Norwich United have had an absolutely rotten start. Wroxham is a club that make a lot of noise because of what they're doing and what they're achieving the last two seasons. So, like, you know, they're making noise, and rightly so. And Mildenhall now have had the better of them twice. I said all along, Wroxham will get beaten in the league, and they have been. And they're not unbeatable. This has happened nice and early on, and that will give the league a lot of confidence. And Newmarket have missed an absolutely golden opportunity to put pressure on them.
Yeah. I think, you know.
Oh,
sorry.
You're right.
I hit my microphone there. Apologies, everyone. I think from a neutral perspective, and I don't want this to come across in, you know, anti-Wroxham or whatever the case may be, but what I don't want to happen is for the league to be over and done with and everyone thinking that one team can't be catched by Christmas and New Year. That's
what's the point? Yeah.
That's what I don't want to happen. I want to be able to report on a league that what we were excited for at the beginning of the season is still worth getting excited for. That multiple teams can be in the running to go up. You know, multiple teams are having really good seasons and are building something for the future. You know, there's a relegation battle that's going on. So I want these teams to have the results that they have done. I want the league to be as open and as competitive as we possibly can, because I want to be reporting on stuff.
The relegation battle is going to be absolute banter. It's going to be the first team to be able to achieve 4 points if we carry on at this rate.
Well, possibly.
But when those teams play each other, my goodness me, are they going to be big games?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, later on in the season, you are.
Yeah,
dead right. Dead right. Irv, easy Mildenhall, the standout result there from those two.
I do agree. I agree, Irv. I do.
Yeah, definitely. Right, league table wise, this is how we shape up as things stand. Stu, I can't get over how good these graphics are. I absolutely love them. Thank you so much, Stu. Right, Swaffham, 7 defeats from 7. Let's move swiftly on. We've got 2 teams on 4 points each, but then a whole host of teams on 6 points. Now, you've got a variety of teams, for example.
We've got Fakenham and Lakenham.
Oh, my God, that's shocking. That is shocking from me. Apologies to Lakenheath. I will amend that graphic. That is shocking. If anybody from Lakenheath is watching this, please change your Twitter name to Lakenham just for 24 hours. That will be absolutely hilarious if you do. Please make it happen. But anyway, moving on. Moving very swiftly on. As we mentioned at the top of the show, Britain have yet to really kind of get their league campaign going this season.
They're a long way behind, aren't they, already?
Yeah, massively behind. Massively behind. But, you know, a few teams I didn't expect to see down there. Ely are one of them, considering how well they did last season. When you actually start to put their run of form on a league table, it does look quite worrying.
Doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good at all. I can see massive fines. Yeah, I'll put a quid into the pot. Don't worry about it. Irv's loving it. Minus 26 of the newest PSG.
This is a conversation, Ben, we had last week, that is the level that Swaffham were performing at in the league at the moment, which is really concerning.
Brilliant. Could have been worse. It could have been Fakenheath. That's definitely. I didn't expect Lakenham to be.
They didn't expect to be there either, Shem.
No, they really didn't. Top half wise, we've now got, look, Newmarket there on 7, in third place, 7 games. They win a couple of their games in hand. Galston now, suddenly things are starting to look pretty decent for those guys there.
Say, Wroxham are now sweating a little bit, I expect, with Galston having a game in hand and a striker that cannot stop scoring.
Yeah, Christy Finch. Shout out to that man. Every time
he owns that 18 goal difference. Absolutely owns it.
Yeah, every time I go onto their Twitter page, he's there, absolutely banging them in. So fair play to him. But yeah, suddenly the league's now looking a little bit interesting. Will be the next few fixtures that we've got for this league will be very, very interesting indeed. So midweek action, we've got Galston versus Kirklees and Patefield.
You'd expect Galston to win it, wouldn't you?
You would do, but it's not as easy as, on their day. Kirklees can definitely turn up and and cause a shock. So it's not a guaranteed win. But Mulbarton are playing against Fakenham.
That'd be interesting.
Newmarket versus Lakenheath. See, I can get Lakenheath's name correct on that graphic. Thetford versus Hadley and Witton versus Norwich United. Again, some big games to cover tomorrow night.
There are huge games in the league tomorrow night. They're all massive games.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Witton, they're facing a Norwich side that are
just picked up some form.
Yeah, and also we're going to be really wanting it because of what's going on at the top of the table.
Yeah. Graham, I did spot your comment earlier on, mate. Graham's off to the Galston versus Kirklees tomorrow night. Galston could go top for the first time in years. Graham, if you want to give me a report on tomorrow night's game, reach out to me on Twitter.
That would be really good, actually.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you at that game. If you want to just come on the show, even if it's just for 30 seconds to give a little bit of a report on the game, if you want to send us anything, that would be very much appreciated. Reach out to me, mate. We'd love to hear from you. James, big game for Thetford on Saturday. We'll talk about that in a few moments. What a signing is Finchy, says Ben. Like Blakey and half of Wanderers, far too good for this level. Is Christian
I agree with that comment that Finchy is good for this level, and there is a degree though where that is his club that he's gone back to. He's had an incredible spell there, and maybe he is one of the finest examples at this level of just playing with your mates and close to home and with what you know, and he's doing it very, very well and driving Galston to some of their best form for many, many years. This is a Galston team that 2 seasons ago were absolute basement dwellers in this league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were just picked off by teams.
Yeah, true.
Very true. Yeah, and that presents a challenge because it sucks other teams down as such. So the challenge of the league changes entirely. And let's not forget, Galston lost a couple of key big players before the season started.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, there's something to be said there. Jack, you're another one I'd like to hear from tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely. Finch put in a lot of work during the summer to get as fit as possible, paying off. Again, if you want to provide us with any reports during the game, if you possibly can, Jack, we want to hear from you. Ben's got his predictions in. He's saying 2-1 to Galston. He's saying 3-1 to Mulbarton, 4-1 to Newmarket. He's saying
won't be that big a score, I don't think.
He's saying Thetford to win 3-2 against Hadley and for Witton to win 4-2 against Norwich. I'll be very interested if any of those come through. Get involved on the show tomorrow night, Ben. We want to hear from you as and when those results come in. The weekend's action, there's a lot to talk through here. Walsham versus Ely, Bramford, Galston, Fakenham versus Lakenheath, Hadley versus Mulbarton, Long Melford versus Witton, March versus Kirklees, Newmarket versus Wroxham. Wow, what a game that promises to be. Swaffham versus Woodbridge and Thetford versus Haverhill. Now, the Thetford game for the bottom of the table and the Newmarket game for the top. Bloody hell.
One of the things I was going to say, this is one of the weekends of incredible fixtures in this league, with how things have panned out. Hadley and Mulbarton both having very good seasons. Long Melford picking up form against a Witton team that have barely played so far. The Newmarket Wroxham game, Thetford Haverhill games are so important at both ends of the table. Yeah. And Swaffham are playing a team in Woodbridge that when we get onto the league table, we will see have really elevated themselves from a position where they've failed for a couple of seasons. Woodbridge are really coming on strong now. Unfortunately,
there's a league table, sick for the moment.
And that looks like success for Woodbridge for me, with the other teams that are around them.
Yeah, it's a good season there. But yeah, wow. There's some mad games there.
Some big games.
The Fakenham versus Lakenheath one in particular. Again, that's another big result at the bottom of that table.
Yeah.
To kind of look at. There's so much riding on this weekend. Action there really is. Newmarket versus Wroxham, Ben.
Just a huge
game. Alex is going God at Woodbridge. Fair play to you, mate. Match day, I'll be at Mulbarton versus Fakenham or Goulston versus Kirkley. Me and Graham would like. Could be like Neville and Carragher.
Well, just imagine it. We might be able to get a dial in from Hannah tomorrow night as well at the Witton game.
Yeah, could.
We've got people out everywhere tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night could be an absolutely massive show. I hope as many of you can join it as possible. Shem, some massive games at the top and bottom. Dan, good reminder, Walsham versus Ely is a Friday night game. There's so much you can get your teeth into this weekend.
Busy week, though, for Walsham after having to turn out for a bit of a game Saturday. They've got a Tuesday game and a Friday game.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Very good point.
But I'd quite fancy that game. Don't know if you're free on Friday night, James. Don't know if I am either, but that would be a tasty little game.
I'll have to get international clearance, but I'm pretty sure we can try and sort something out.
Well, Walsham do good chips.
Right. That's sealed then, is it?
Well, I don't know. I know you never buy any food at a ground.
That's true.
You don't agree with putting money back into the clubs that you go and support, but
no, sod that. Why would I want to help him out?
You don't do anything for non-league, James.
Oh no. You know,
last time I saw you go to a game, I saw you hop in the fence.
The last time I went to a game, I left at half time. No, I'm only joking. Well, that's actually technically true.
That's a true story.
But we'll move on from that. I'd go for the chips, says Alex.
Good lad, Alex.
Good man. Right, Furlough None North time. We've got
We've got someone else at Walsham as well. MV Videos. Check in with us.
Good man. We want to hear from you, mate, like you did last time. Get in contact with us. Let's start rattling through some of these leagues because we're an hour and 27 minutes into this show.
Quite a long one tonight. We've had quite a lot to talk about.
100%. So from midweek, we saw Peterborough North End winning 4-0 against Wisbech St Mary. This was a midweek game from the Furlough None North.
Again, I genuinely don't think that's a bad result for Wisbech St Mary. That sounds really bad, but Peterborough North End are not going too bad, and it's 4-0 away from home midweek. I don't think that's as horrific as it could be.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of see from that point. Weekend's action, Dis winning 2-0 against Peterborough North End. A great result for Dis. A very, very good result for them. As we mentioned at the top of the show, when we're talking about Leiston, let's talk about their reserves. They won 2-0 against Holston. A very good win.
Ridiculous result.
Holston had won 6 out of 6 games prior to this. So that's a brilliant win away from home for those guys.
It's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Needham Market 1, Framlingham 4, a good win away from home. Norwich CBS versus Whittlesea Athletic was a 4-3 win for Whittlesea. Norwich were kicking themselves.
I bet you they were.
That they lost that game. Really were.
They can't find consistency, can they?
No. If I can just pull up the tweet that they put out about it on the weekend, they were.
Isn't this the second week in a row that Framlingham have had very decent result as well?
So full time here from the FDC. A disappointing result as we go down 4-3 after being 3-1 up. Credit to Whittlesey,
Shocker.
who never gave up the chase and always pressured and got their reward. We go again next weekend. So, yeah, 3-1 up to kind of throw that game away. But, yeah, fair play to Whittlesey on that one.
That's going to be players on the pitch job, isn't it? And then shouted at afterwards.
Sheringham versus Downham, that game was postponed from the weekend due to a COVID call-off. Hopefully we won't see as many of those moving swiftly forward. Jack, yeah, you were right. Certain Norwich CBS were 3-1 up, I think. James, CBS have lost Volta to Thetford Rovers in League One.
Such a waste of talent, that is. So stupid.
Some people just want to be with their mates, don't they? They just want to...
I know, and that is a case of that, but he can play a better level than that.
Yeah, definitely. So, league table-wise, bottom half of the table, let's just move swiftly on from the bottom side of it. That's just, I like what UEA are doing at the moment. They're starting to build up some sort of consistency at this level. I'm pleased that they are performing quite well. And when you look at the outside of the playoffs, they're not a million miles away from it as things stand. There is a bit of a drop off to some of the teams below them. Obviously, Yarmouth have got a couple of games in hand, so we'll see how they kind of fare on that result.
You look at that result at the weekend with Yarmouth beating Wisbech 6-0 in the Vase, and you start to realise the gap.
Yeah, no, I do agree on that one. Top of the table. This just goes to show how good of a win that was for Leyton Reserves.
That's
look
ridiculous.
at that. Superb win. Look, Norwich, having been in a position that they were 3-1 up, they move on to 14 points. They're in the playoffs. Whittlesey are then down to 13 points. They could be fourth at this moment in time. But as a result, they're now outside the playoffs. Dis moved back into the playoff spot with their win on the weekend. Again, Downham just need to start playing some games and hopefully...
2 wins, and they're right in the mix anyway, aren't they?
Oh, God, yeah. 100%. To Ben. I love the support, my man. Love it. Leyton Reserves went down to 10 men at 2-1, which makes the result even more impressive to hang in there. Definitely. The Dis game was free entry at the weekend. Great result with a few extra fans. Didn't know that. Free
Good
entry
way to celebrate a bit of a new era over at Dis, that.
Yeah,
but last week they were looking down the table. This week, back up. Things can change quickly. Results have gone favourably for them. Definitely. With CBS losing. And that was all. It worked very well for them this week. Obviously, with Downham and Sheringham not playing, that's affected it as well. But for Dis, right win, right time. Good place to be.
If I want to see how Downham kind of get on over the next few games once they start picking up actually playing, because once they kind of get to level pecking with the games that they've played compared to everyone else,
it's not very fair, is it?
What I'm kind of getting to is I just hope that the playoffs are not going to be decided very early on, if you see what I mean. Because again, there is already starting to become a little bit of a breakaway between some of the teams at the top and the teams who are chasing that playoff spot. If Downham can kind of get some games into gear, it could just literally be a case of who's going to go up and how are the playoffs going to settle themselves, and everyone else is just kind of chasing shadows.
The thing is that the problem is quite clear that if Sheringham were to beat Downham in that game and Huntington win their game in hand, then that breakaway group leaves quite it's a long journey to the end of the season. But
oh God, yeah. But
this is a small league, a very small league.
Yeah, this is it. So only weekend action taking place. We've got Friday night action as Whittlesea plays Peterborough North End. We've got Debenham versus Needham Reserves. Both of them will be seeing this as a game that they can win without a shadow of a doubt. Debenham very, very desperate for a win. Downham versus Halston. Want to see how Halston respond to that, but Downham again, just want to see them playing a game of football. Parsons Drove against Sheringham, Framlingham versus Norwich CBS, Great Yarmouth versus UEA, Huntington versus Dis, and again, Dis could surprise a bit, could surprise a few with that one there. Leyton Reserves versus Wisbech. St Mary, a lot of good action going on in the Furlough None North this coming weekend. Furlough None South wise, here are the results from midweek and some absolutely crazy results in this
This,
league.
this league's
it's
so
mental, innit?
stupid.
It's
It really
mental,
is.
innit? It is
Defenses
absolutely
must
mental.
be terrible. I'd love to see more of it, but the defenses in this league must be absolutely horrific.
Either that or the attacking side is that good.
Well, yeah.
Let's throw the counter argument in there.
Yeah, you've still got to defend it though. Like these are like baseball scores. It's just daft. Like, yeah, it really is. I can't understand this league. It's going to take me a whole season to wrap myself around it.
Yeah, no, I agree on that one. So Brentford 3, Newbury Forest 7, Wivenhoe 4, Haverhill Borough 1, Wormley Rovers 2, Brimsdown 2, Holland 4, Harwich and Parkston 1, Parkview 3, Barkingside 4. Some mental results. And then
Brimsdown to get a draw with Wormley as well was ridiculous.
Yeah. Has there been any clean sheets in this league? Well, yes, there was one on the weekend. Believe it or not,
0-0.
Wivenhoe and Burnham Ramblers, two of the top teams in this division, drawing 0-0. Cornard 3, May and Baker 3. That game took place on the Friday night.
Good result for Cornard.
A lot of people talking about this game on Friday night. It was very, very popular on my Twitter feed. And Wormley Rovers 1, Sudbury Reserves 0. So this is how it leaves the league table. So again, a few teams kind of breaking away at the bottom of the table for all of the wrong reasons. And obviously we don't like to see one of our former sides in Haverhill Borough and Cornard doing.
Haverhill are really struggling though, aren't they, this season? They got battered in the Vase as well, but it's just not working.
Definitely. Clare Town should move into this league. Both teams to score would be easy in this league. Yeah, no, you're definitely right on that one. Definitely right. So yeah, Sudbury Reserves kind of doing okay at this point, but probably what I would expect, to be honest. Top of the table wise, again, obviously the first name that kind of you draw to is Ipswich Wanderers, but 6 games played. They need to again play kind of a level with a lot of teams, but again, no one's. Maybe Benfleet with a couple of games behind that they are.
But you look, Burnham Ramblers are top of this table. They've played 10 games and only picked up 20 points.
Only.
No, by comparison, though.
Yeah, to other leagues.
The Wanderers, Buckhurst. Like Buckhurst have got 3 more games in the tank. Benfleet has still got another 2 over them. And Wivenhoe in second have played 11 games. Like, it's all over the place. So teams have played all sorts of different numbers of games.
Yeah. So again, this league will kind of settle itself out hopefully over the next few weeks, and we'll be able to keep an eye on it. But again, a crazy league that one we're enjoying covering without a shadow of a doubt.
Shane has just put Wormley have won 3-0 tonight and have gone top.
Wow. There you go. I was just about to say that one against Barkingside. That game takes place tonight.
Good victory as well.
Very, very good win away from home. Benfleet versus Brentford, and then Coggeshall United versus Ipswich Wanderers. And then on the weekend, a lot of games. May and Baker versus Halstead Town, Brimsdown versus Newbury Forest, Buckhurst versus Benfleet, Burnham Ramblers versus Parkview, Coggeshall versus AFC Sudbury Reserves, Brentford versus Wivenhoe, Harwich and Parkston versus Barkingside, Haverhill Borough versus Hackney Wick, Holland versus Cornard, and Ipswich versus Wormley Rovers.
Not getting any easier for Haverhill, is it?
No.
That'll be a really tough game.
Yeah. The one I'm looking forward to is the Buckhurst versus Benfleet game. Both teams in brilliant form going into this game. That one will be definitely one keeping an eye on. So, Nick, just tuning in and catching up. Thanks for the shout. It was a great result for us. Big team performance. No worries, Nick. Glad to have you in the chat. SIL time now. Let's move on to this weekend's result. Obviously, the Friday night game that we were at was Cops versus Achilles. I'll show you highlights of that game in just a few moments. Bennell 1, Old Newton 3. A very good win away from home for Old Newton. We knew a win was coming. They've
been building up to it, haven't they? So much noise after last week. So, yeah, well done, lads. That's really good to now get the momentum going forward. About as much as I've got to say on that one.
Claydon, 7-1 winners away from home against Bilderston. We talked to a few of the Claydon lads on Friday night. They were ready for this game. And obviously there were a few comments that were going around from a certain interview on Radio Suffolk during the week. But they were ready for this game, and a big win away from home for those guys.
I wasn't expecting that to be 7-1.
No.
I was expecting a far tighter game. So Bilderstone will be kicking themselves, no doubt. It's not their proudest day.
No, and not a result you kind of become accustomed to of Bilderstone.
Absolutely not. No.
Of the last few years. East Bergholt just carrying on with the good starts that they've had to the season, beating Westerfield 2-1. Halesworth 2, Ipswich Vale Exiles 2 in what sounds like a very good game. Both sides kind of disagreeing on how it went on Twitter, which I saw was quite interesting to see who thought they should have won the game, but a 2-2 result in that one. Hawley 1, Henley 5. Brilliant win away from home for Henley. Ransom's 3, Leighton St Margaret's 1. Ramsden's admitting themselves they didn't have it all their own way. Leighton gave them a bit of a scare.
Yeah, much better performance from Leighton St Margaret's. And again, I say that with all honesty, the same as I said earlier. So, yeah, really good.
Yeah, Leighton went 1-0 up in that game, but Ramsden's turned it around. And Trimley winning 3-1 against Capel Plough. Match day, need some more SIL photos. If you're in that, if you are a part of an SIL team, send us in any shots that you've got, and we'll change these graphics.
I know Claydon have got a photographer now. I added her earlier on Twitter. I'm just trying to look for her name very quickly because she's taken some amazing shots. Her handle is @Ella_Bailey23. So yeah, she's got some really good shots from the games that are honestly really good insight into the game, and full of action shots as well for the ones that have been posted.
Yeah, definitely. Alex, send them in, my man. If you've got some shots of players, definitely want to have them on the show. Tony, #Thursday night BBC Team Talk. Alex was told Leighton were unlucky with 2 of the goals that they conceded as well. Yeah, they by all accounts they played very, very well. So yeah, let's show you the highlights from the
sinking
game.
In my chair here. I've got so relaxed, James. You need to tell me when I'm about to come back on screen.
Just like wave, like panic.
Yeah, I can't see. I don't see you in the bottom corner. You only see me. No, I don't get to see you.
Oh, okay. I could just be sticking the finger up at you.
I turned that feature off because distraction.
Wow. Cheers. So here are 3 of the 4 goals between Cops and Achilles. Sadly, I don't know what's happened to it, but I just could not retrieve the Achilles first goal. So here are the 3 goals that I've got from the Cops versus Achilles game. So a little boo there in the background at the end is brilliant. Absolutely love that.
It's a shame we've lost the footage because we had all of the new footage off the new camera as well with the zoom and that. But I mean, just to be clear, that's equaliser from Achilles came from quite possibly the worst corner we saw all night long. So I think Cops will be absolutely giving themselves pelters for letting that turn into a goal because other than that, corners were pretty ineffectual, weren't they?
Yeah.
On the night.
So. Banto booing.
Yeah.
Like, just to kind of give a brief summary, Cops went 1-0 up. Very, very quickly, Achilles equalised. Literally from the kickoff, Achilles got their equaliser. we were just doing our kind of chat about the first goal, what was going to happen, and we turned around, just about got the action of it.
That's the one you're missing, isn't it?
Yeah, of the Achilles equaliser. And then Cops went 2-1 ahead, thinking in the second half that they're going to, after the first 5 or 10 minutes of the second half, they're going to go out and get themselves a third and get the win. Second, the equaliser goes in for Achilles, and that's kind of how it all played out in the end. There wasn't really an awful lot much, more to the game, if we're being completely
Do you know
honest.
what? There's a really good point here, and I'd like to talk to it, that Alex has made. SIL sides must love playing on that carpet. You'd think so. I needed a telescope and got neck ache at times. Because the ball, to keep it clear, had to spend a lot of time in the air.
Yeah.
And there was a few times where you said to me, that was a really good passage of play. And we noted that was particularly in the first half when Cops were playing it along the floor and cutting through the lines with the ball.
Yep.
But because of the way that they were both going, Achilles were really trying to go direct. There was times when it was 4 or 5 headers being boomed up into the air just to try and keep it out of the half, almost going backwards and forwards. So playing it on the ground, I think, would have been effective. But the style that both teams had to fall into to defend against the constant wave of attack one way than the other didn't let it happen. It couldn't happen. It didn't fit the game.
Ben, Achilles slowly getting back to what they were. Balls into the channel like the first goal we saw worked. Possibly. Definitely a spirited performance. I probably tend to agree with Adam. I don't think it's going to be a game that either team will be happy with. I don't think it's a game that either team will be disappointed with. I think it was just a game that probably 2-2 was a fair result on reflection. Both teams put in a shift. They just didn't play to the conditions and what was available to them. Is probably the best way of describing it.
It was a very non-memorable first 25 minutes, and then after that, and the first goal went in, things started to happen a bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my first bit of commentary after the first goal went in was that before the goal went in, this game has been nothing but worth its entry price, and I didn't pay to get in. I wasn't. I was just moving a camera from left to right without too much of note to put in the book to say that's where we need to check back to. But then there was a few saves forced, and the game did come to light a bit, and it got a bit intense before half time. Before half time happened, you could sense that when both teams went in, they'd probably come out of a different intensity, but that didn't quite happen. I don't think really.
I agree with
so, but there's things to learn in that, and the one thing I will say is that lobbed goal was a peach. That was an absolute beauty, because that ball went a long way up in the air, and the trajectory was perfect. A very, very tidy finish.
Definitely. So going back to some of the other results on there, Vinny's put in here, we hit the post 4 times, we were denied a trip, clear penalties, and Halesworth said that they felt cheated on their Twitter posts. We were very honest enough to say that they were the better side in the second half. We were better first half, but they claimed that we kept them at bay. When it was their goal, it was Bombarders. No, that's fair enough, Vinny. We love hearing what you've got to say on each one of these games. Alex, shame that a lot of the SILs feel they can't play the ball on the floor. That's the thing. When both teams did, they both made stuff happen. It's when they were trying to both go quite direct.
It's the end-to-end nature of the game, wasn't it?
Yeah. But the Cops goal, the lob goal, did come from a direct play. So, I suppose it did work for him. But we move on. So bottom half of the table now. This is how things are shaping after average of 7 games for most teams. Obviously, Bilderson are a little bit behind with the games that they have played. Again, it's starting to kind of level out now. And it appears to be, at this moment in time, a bit of a 3-horse race at the bottom there. I believe that there are still 2 relegation spots up for, to be decided.
Up for grabs.
I was about to say up for grabs, but I stopped myself there. I can't find anything official to say that the bottom 2 will definitely go down, but if anybody can confirm or deny that in the comments, that'd be great. So I can kind of use it to update the graphics for next week's show. Top of the table, look, it's, Claydon are top, Henley second, 1 point behind them. But, Hawley win their game. They go up to 16 points. They're right in the mix. East Burgold unbeaten so far. The only team left in the SOL Senior that are unbeaten, have played far fewer games. They're right in the mix as well. All it takes is for Ransoms and Ipswich to win their games in hand. This league is still really hard to call. Really hard to call.
I don't know if I read rightly. Vinny, you'll tell me that Ipswich Vale Exiles have got Luke Reed playing for them this season, who was at Stowmarket last year. If that's right, that is one of the most ridiculous signings at this level of football I've ever heard about. It's even in that league, on his day, he's a Rolls-Royce midfielder that can absolutely ping a ball.
Yeah.
So, if he is there, wow.
Alex, still shocked to see Old Newton there. Yeah, it might... yes, I know why you want me to put sports in there, but it's very, very close to it's very, very close to the graphic. It doesn't look right. I'll see if I can try and make it a little bit smaller so we can put Ransom Sports in there for you, Glenn. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure it's changed for next week's show. Alex, going back to your point about Old Newton, look, they've just had a bit of a tough start. They've bounced back. They will start to slowly get back up to the tables. I'm sure they'll be up there in absolutely no time. Fixtures this weekend. It is Achilles versus Henley, Bilderston versus Cops, Claydon versus Leyton St Margaret. Anything other than a home win in that one, I'll be very, very shocked.
That could be an absolute cricket score.
Yeah, I hope not. I like the guys over at Leyston. They're a good
I know. I just feel sorry for them when they're building from last week to have to play that game this week.
Yeah, it is tough. East Burgold versus Capel Plough. Again, I'd probably see anything other than
another cricket score. Yeah.
Halesworth versus Ransoms, which could be a brilliant game of football. Hawley versus Ipswich Vale, again another brilliant game. Trimley versus Bennell, again another belter. Westerfield versus Old Newton. Both of these teams will be seeing that as a game that they can win without a shadow of a doubt. Some great games this weekend.
This is step 7, Lucas, just whilst we're going through it.
Yes. Yeah, this is step 7. Step 7. So there we go. So yeah, brilliant games going on this weekend. If you can, get yourself over to any of these teams. We'd love to hear what goes on at these games, as always. Div 1 time now. Results coming on from this weekend. So we've got Kesgrave finally playing a game of football, and they won 2-1 against Bromford Road Old Boys.
Really good result for them as well.
You know what? It's just nice to see him play a game.
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to say on that one. Bacton winning 3-2 against Grunsborough. A great result for Bacton. Well played, lads. Really, really good performance there and a good result.
Good to see him back in the winning column because had a tough couple of weeks. So yeah,
definitely. Stowe Falcons getting a very impressive 3-0 win away from home to get their first win of the season after some good draws against some decent teams in this league. They followed up by winning 3-0 away from home. Sporting losing 2-0 to Tattingstone. Probably not that much of a shock to those guys who know what Tattingstone are about. But very impressive win there away from home. And Stanton winning 3-1 against Wickham Market. A brilliant start to the season for Stanton. Really is. And that's just an impressive performance. If anybody is at any of these games, then yeah.
I do feel that Stanton are building something that in a couple of seasons' time could come to fruition.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Vinny said Luke works most Saturdays, but he plays when he can. There you go.
That's just ridiculous.
John, Halesworth versus Exiles, great game. Fair result in the end. Exiles won't be far away. Grunsbury 893 yeah, I need to drop the 89 out of there, but some people want the full names. I might drop the 89 out of there just to make
this is the thing where I was saying, like, if we centralize the scores and do a left alignment on the teams, on the home teams, and a right alignment on the away teams, that'll clarify it. Then we won't be having Bacton 893 -2 versus Grunsborough.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Yeah, Ben, Stanton played very well, apparently. Shem, we were poor, but Stanton were excellent and serious contenders. Highlights out later on this week. We look forward to seeing them without a doubt. So this is how the league table currently shapes at the moment. Stanton leading the way, 3 wins from their opening 4 games, and they remain unbeaten. As you said, that win for Bacton now sees them climb up the table. They're now into 7th place. A very, very good win for those guys. Obviously, Kesgrave a couple of games behind some of their other teams. 4 points from their opening 3 games. It's interesting. The league is starting to take shape, but it's so tight at the top there.
Really. Such an important win though for Kesgrave.
Yeah,
like league position wise, because if Brantford Road Old Boys would have won it, it would have really have set things apart a bit. So yeah. Very, very important.
Vinny.
just get that in there.
Brilliant stuff. Weekend's action. We've got Brantford Road Old Boys against Bacton. It's Stanton versus Grunsborough. Stowe Falcons versus... God, here we go. Wenneston. Oh, God damn it. We got it wrong again. I'm never going to get it right. That 1 week was a fluke. Tankstone versus Southwold. I mean, there's some good matchups here. I think Tankstone, I can see them beating Southwold.
Yeah,
I can see that happening.
So can I.
Yeah. Stanton versus Grunsborough. It depends which Grunsborough team turn up. Let's be honest.
Hopefully it's the first team. Otherwise, they'll be at the wrong ground. So,
but yeah, some good fixtures going on there. Div 2, Ipswich Athletic 3, Elmswell 1, Curtin 3, Thurston 4. Good win for Thurston there, away from home. Saxmundham 3-1 winners against Witnesham Wasps. Somersham 1, Ufford 1. And your boys there, Stonham Aspel losing 5-0 to Wolverstone. Yeah.
Rumours Southwold may be in trouble. Please, not another one.
Stanton versus Grunsborough will be huge. Off to Stanton on Saturday for the first time will be a good game. Rumours to Southwold maybe. I really hope that's not true. But we'll keep our eyes peeled on that one, without a doubt. Glad to see Ipswich Athletic getting a win, says Vinny. Southwold Southwold are struggling. Haven't updated their Twitter page in a few weeks either, which is always a good. Wolverstone, not Stone. Look, no one's corrected me to this point, Vinny. Come on. And Kieran, I knew you'd be in the building, mate. Good to see you. Yeah, up the Wolves. Why not? I'll get pelters for that. I'll be accused of being biased.
Against Stonham?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's a goal difference, not half.
-17. It doesn't make for great reading, does it? But, a win. A win, and they climb that table. You
say that, but you're probably about to tell me they're playing Ufford this weekend.
I'll get to the fixtures in just a moment. But, yeah, look at that. Cockfield, 1 win out of 1. When are they going to play a game of football?
Why are they not playing a game of football?
I have absolutely no idea, mate. I've been trying to keep on top of it as much as I can, but I just want to see Cockfield play. I just want to see them play a game of football, because this league table is just ridiculous at the moment. There's so many teams that haven't played. Some have played their full capacity.
They'll still be finishing their season September next year at this rate.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Really, really is crazy. Right. Fixtures for this weekend. There we go. They're playing away against Elmswell, which I'm sure will be called off for whatever reason. Melton versus Somersham, Saxmundham versus Thurston, Stonham versus Ipswich Athletic, Ufford versus Witnesham Wasps, and Wolverstone versus Curtin Athletic. Rounding off those ones.
Is this one of Stonham's big opportunities to get a win? It's a question.
Possibly. Yeah.
Is this their first opportunity to get a win and remember what it feels like?
For those of you who listen to this on audio devices, Tony should put into the comments saying Cockfield haven't played because no one can find the bloody place. Brilliant comment. Love that. Div 3 now. Results from the weekend is AFC Wanderers 2, Bardwell Sports 2, Aldborough 2, Great Blakenham 9, and in the exact same result, I couldn't believe when I typed this out, Hope Church 2, Bromford United 9. So both 9-2 scorelines in this division. Absolutely crazy. Kesgo Kestrel 7, Unity 1, Laxfield 3, Leiston Youth 0, and Ockhold and Nedermarket Phoenix playing out a 2-all draw. So great wins away from home for Blakenham and also to Bromford.
Leiston Youth have let the side down really there, haven't they?
Yeah, it could have been 3 out of 3.
I'm only joking. I'm only joking saying that. I think you're not going to win them all. But no. Yeah, 2 9-2s on one weekend in a league. That's unusual.
Yeah, no, definitely. Why is no one moaning about Bromford having senior players this year? Couldn't possibly comment, mate. Couldn't comment. Here's the current league table. I mean, obviously, we've had to take into consideration what's gone on with Stage, and this is how the league table is now updated. I'll talk about Stage in just a few moments, but look at the top of the table. 4 wins out of 4 and a plus 29 goal difference already.
Have Great Blakenham got someone playing up top that's pretty good? Because they are having a whale of a time.
Yeah, so Laxfield 4 wins out of 4. Bromford 3 wins out of 3, obviously a game behind. The rest of the league table was kind of leveling itself out. But yeah, fixtures coming up this weekend. It's Aldborough versus Kesgrove Kestrels. It's Bromford versus Great Blakenham Checkers. And I haven't greened out the wins there, but that game is 7 wins out of 7. For both of these sides. Fantastic game. Look forward to seeing what the result is of that one. Leiston Youth versus Ockhold, Needham Market Phoenix versus Hope Church, and Unity versus AFC Wanderers. So that rounds up the SIL action. Jack plus 29 of 4 games is absolutely mental. So that rounds up the SIL side of things. Super 6 time in just a second, but just to let everybody know, we contacted the guys over at Stage during the week. We spoke to a couple of people there, and they would like to be able to give an account of what happened over the past few weeks, past few months, and what ultimately led to their decision on leaving the SIL. Because there has literally been the briefest of briefest statements from the league. They want to come on and give their side of the story. So we will be recording a one-off special with a few of the guys over at Stage, and then we will be releasing that as a separate video on the channel. So keep your eyes peeled on the social medias, keep your eyes peeled on the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn your notification bell on, and we will make announcements of when that video is going to be coming out. But they want to tell their story. We're happy to give them that platform. So yeah, we look forward to hearing what the story is, how that all came about, and what the future lies for some of those guys at the club, because they've got a story to tell. So we'll bring you to that as and when I'm able to get that one edited. Right, Super 6 time now, Adam. Let's round off tonight's show. What happened this weekend? Not an awful lot by what you were saying before we went live.
Oh, it's so dull scoring it. You're all useless this week. So many zeros. It was an utter joke. Yeah, we did say it'd be hard, but I mean, if I look at my scoring chart, I don't know how I can do it. I'll try and get the number of zeros that we had this week. There's a lot. But goodness me, it was it was
tough for a lot of you.
It wasn't the best. I mean, I'll
do we? I don't know if we have a weekly league table. I don't think we're doing that anymore. Are we this year?
We're not, because at the minute I haven't really put the energy into finding a sponsor for the Super 6. So there's a couple of things like that we were looking at doing. So I haven't got an independent sponsor to do it as such.
Sponsor, yeah.
So I think we may look at that going forward. I want to do a prize draw for a copy of the new Football Manager now that's been announced. It's been released on the 7th of November. I know a lot of people like to get a pre-order in of that so that you can play the beta. So we'll do something around it, whether it's Super 6 or just some special like one-off ACCA game where we can put a load of people on a Wheel of Doom if you're a subscriber or something. That would be something positive. Like a tweet and subscribe to the channel, then we can try and boost the subscriber numbers and try and get somebody a copy of the game.
I like that.
Doing that.
Luke Gifkins will probably win it because he wins everything. It'll be between him and Dan on the wheel, and Dan will lose and Luke will win. But I'm very joking. We'll definitely. I'm definitely up for that. 100%. Football Manager is a passion game of mine. I absolutely love it. Played it for so many years. So I'm 100% want to give a copy of that away to you guys. I'm well up for that.
You get passionate about very little, other than whatever you and your wife get up to. She hasn't told me, but Football Manager.
Too right, she hasn't told you. She hasn't told you.
Football Manager is one of those things. So yeah. I know that you'll be well on board with the giveaway that we do there. Shout out to Nathan Burrell with a big 9 points. I don't know if I've done a call out for Nathan before for his scoring, but he's going well.
Not a name I recognise, no.
Yeah, so Nathan's going well. Big 9 points this week, but 25% of those that entered got 0.
Oh, Jesus. So the league table I'm about to bring up on the screen then might not see much movement.
Well, I didn't bother doing one last week, really, did I? Because I was too late.
No.
So
here is the current league table then. So that 9 points pushes Nathan up to second. Wow. Very impressive.
And he scored 6 last week as well. So
good to see I'm back into the 40s. There we go. Haven't entered for the past few weeks. That's shocking from me. Absolutely shocking.
Spreads is all over the place. I mean, he's at 6s and 7s this season, so it's somebody else's game this year. But yeah, good to see some different names up and about there. I'm
Ben,
really
you're seventh. You're seventh. You're not doing rubbish.
I was going to say that's doing pretty decent, to be honest. So I'm really pleased to report that Dan Barnard got 0 this week, so he may not have to face a Wheel of Doom. But
I'm sure
I will.
He's buzzing he scored 0.
I'll do some aggregate scores for the end of the month because we're giving away Suffolk non-league show goodies. Yeah, I know, Vinny. I know. I said to James beforehand, do you know what? I'm going to probably just do top 40 before long. But we're like, no, we'll get everyone involved. But you play once, you get 9 points on the one entry you do, then don't bother coming in again. You'll probably be there for several more weeks.
Yeah. Mark Oliver in 10th. I need to start entering. Yes, Jack. Yes, you do. So here are this week's Super 6 games that are going on.
Have fun with these bad boys.
Yeah, 100%. The survey, of course, is going into the chat as we speak. If you want to get involved with this week's predictions, they need to be in before Saturday, the 18th of September at 12 o'clock. So the games we have got are Sudbury versus Stowmark in the FA Cup, Chelmsford versus Little Oakley, Hashtag versus Felixstowe in the Isthmian North, Newmarket versus Wroxham in the Furlough Prem. Good luck predicting that one. Downham versus Harleston, and Claydon versus Leiston St Margaret's in the SIL Senior.
Just a call out, because the scores were so low this week, generally, we put one game in there that you're guaranteed to all get at least 1 point on. I'm not going to say who it is because that's not very fair on the team that we think are going to lose, but you can decide for yourself.
Yeah. There's no way of sugarcoating that. So I try my best on this show to sugarcoat a lot of things because I don't like to hurt a lot of people's feelings. Yeah,
you just let me decimate people's feelings.
I do, and that's why you get the nickname of being the non-league Roy Keane.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So yeah, get your predictions in, get your scores in. We want to hear from you, and of course, we will be doing giveaways throughout the year. The original Super 6 from Suffolk. There we go. No commento. Right, rounding off tonight's show, we've gone over the 2-hour mark. Yeah, team talk done for Leiston. There you go.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never said anybody's name, Glenn.
Jack, bit harsh on hashtag Adam.
You know how much I love hashtag Jack. Don't go there.
Yeah. Let's round off tonight's show. Thank you, everyone, for getting involved. We really do appreciate it. The viewer numbers have been really good tonight, so that's massively appreciated. Everyone getting involved in the comment section is absolutely huge. Thank you so much. Remember, tomorrow night we are live at 7:40 for non-league now as we start to review and go through all of the score updates and updates from all of the games across step 3 down to step 6. If you want to come on the show, if you're at a game, again, DM me over on Twitter, message Adam. We'll send you the link for the show. We'll post it throughout the show as well. If you want to come on and give us your thoughts and opinions on a game, we want to hear from you. That's what makes the show what it is. We've got a lot of you scattered at different games. If you are one of those people, reach out to us. We want to hear from you. But yeah, rounding off tonight's show, as always, please hit the thumbs up button. Give the video a like if you're watching from YouTube perspective and subscribe to the channel. Again, 40% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Get subscribing. It's free. And it really helps boost our algorithm, helps boost the channel and gets us seen by more and more people. Dan, right at the end. Sorry, guys, I've not been on. I heard the wheel was mentioned, so I came on. What a way to round off the show.
It's like he's got a little alarm.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Yeah, Ben, I look forward to hearing from you, mate. James, cheers, lads. Another enjoyable show. Thanks, my man.
Part, James.
Great show. Cheers. No worries, everybody. Again, like button, subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more content coming out. If I will see you guys tomorrow, I look forward to having you all in the chat. It's been a great show. Adam, thanks once again for joining me, my man. And I will see you and everyone else tomorrow night. It's been a good show. Appreciate it. Until next time, as always, everybody, adios.